The thrilling 2014 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship reached its halfway point with its annual visit to the challenging Croft circuit in the northeast. A massive and enthusiastic crowd crammed into the flat, fast North Yorkshire venue, the record numbers anticipating 3 more cracking races, and they weren't to be disappointed. Despite carrying maximum ballast, it was the BMW of championship leader Colin Turkington that took pole position. But with former champions Jason Plato, Gordon Shedden, Matt Neal and Andrew Jordan rounding out the top 5, the scene was perfectly set for a rousing opening race. Turkington, though, made no mistake as the lights went out, with teammate Rob Collard also making a great start from 6th spot. As the tightly packed cars jostled through the opening corners, Jordan's blue Honda tagged the back of Neal's Civic Tourer, and in the concertina effect behind, Nick Foster's BMW speared spectacularly off track and into the infield. Up front, it was Turkington who led from Shedden's Civic Tourer, with Plato's MG emerging in 3rd, with battles raging behind. As the top 2 made their getaway, Plato produced a masterclass in how to defend in touring cars, fending off extreme pressure from the chasing Collard, Jordan and a recovering Neal. Collard did draw alongside once on the drag down to the first corner, but the wily Plato just wasn't to be passed. So, at the flag, it was a flawless Turkington who notched up his 5th win of the season from Shedden, with the valiant Plato holding on to take a desperately hard-fought 3rd place, ahead of Collard, Jordan, Neal and Alain Menu's fast-finishing Volkswagen. Jordan was subsequently penalised a place by the race stewards for his opening lap contact with Neal, so he lined up 6th for race 2 behind Neal, Collard, Plato, Shedden and the mighty impressive Turkington, who was once again on pole for what was another all-action affair. There was immediate drama as Rob Austin's Audi came to grief off the line, but up front though it was Turkington and Shedden who maximised their front row starting positions, with Collard's BMW in 3rd. Behind them, Plato's busy mirrors were this time filled with Neal's Civic Tourer. The Honda driver finally dived past the struggling MG to grab 4th. A brave move replicated by defending champion Jordan a few laps later. Neal, though, wasn't happy with 4th, and he slipped past Collard for 3rd. Behind them, Menu was now trying to find a way past Plato. After surviving one high-speed, heart-stopping moment, the Swiss star finally edged his Volkswagen ahead, only to be tagged by the MG and spun into the barriers and out of the race. With some great skirmishes all down the field, the crowd was kept royally entertained, but no one could get close to the imperious Turkington, who cruised home to take his 30th career win and 10th at Croft to keep up his amazing record in the northeast. There was post-race drama, however, with Neal's Honda failing the ride height test and Plato being given a 10-place grid penalty for his controversial clash with Menu. So it was a delighted Jack Goff who found himself on pole alongside Fabrizio Giovanardi's Ford Focus. Plato would start a lowly 16th, with Neal right at the very back with a huge amount of work to do. Goff made a good getaway in the Vauxhall Insignia, but then clashed with Tom Ingram's Toyota as the gloves came off at the first corner. Through the first lap chaos, it was Giovanardi and Jordan that emerged ahead of Goff, but the Italian's lead was short-lived, the Ford spinning off and shedding bodywork to leave Jordan in the clear. Behind, Collard was right on his toes, desperately trying to get past Goff, as Turkington, Shedden and Morgan were really getting stuck in. As the carnage mounted, Neal was an early retiree with accident damage after going 3 abreast with Austin and Warren Scott's Vauxhall. More significantly, Turkington was also heading for the pits with a clutch problem. Back on the track, Jordan was holding a slender advantage, with Goff enjoying a great run behind, but was under massive attack from multiple race winner Collard and a chasing Matt Jackson. Collard finally barged his way past a sideways Goff, with Jackson taking advantage too. Shedden was next man past Goff into 4th and then got involved with an epic duel with Jackson. The pair made contact more than once as Goff, Morgan, Smith, Foster and Menu all joined in the battle. The Scot finally forced the issue to take the final spot on the podium. So after a crazy all-action race, it was Jordan who took his 4th win of the season, with Collard completing a good day at Croft in a safe 2nd. Behind Shedden, Jackson held on to 4th, with Adam Morgan's battered Mercedes just pipping Goff's badly bruised Vauxhall by 1,000th of a second for 5th at the end of what had been a brilliant, brilliant race. With the Btcc paddock drawing breath and heading into its mid-season break, Louise Goodman caught up with a delighted race 3 winner, Andrew Jordan.
Andy, an interesting weekend here at Croft, but it's ended up a win for you in the final race of the day, and that's really kept your championship hopes alive, hasn't it?
You can say that again. We really, really needed it. We've had a very poor previous round, and race 1 and 2 here weren't too great either. So I can't tell you what relief I feel, and all the guys have still been putting in the hours in, obviously, and thank you to their hard work and huge relief. I can't tell you how much it means.
So we're all going to get together again at Snetterton. What are your thoughts looking forward to that race weekend?
Well, we know how good racing it is around Snetterton. There's lots of hairpins, lots of big braking areas which encourage overtaking manoeuvres. So I think the racing's going to be as exciting as ever. We've seen here how exciting the racing's been after a less exciting Alton Park. So I think the racing's on a roll. Everyone's getting a bit more stuck in, and I can't wait.
What kind of car does it suit? I mean, we've seen the last 2 circuits, it's been really favoured the rear-wheel drive cars. What's the situation at Snetterton?
Probably rear-wheel drive. There's lots of hairpins where they can really use their traction. But saying that, there's quick corners that the front-wheel drive car, and certainly the Honda's really, really good through. So I think over a lap it will be very close, but I still think the BM's are the car to beat.
It's always a good weekend, isn't it? It's like in the middle of summer, in the middle of the countryside, a really nice place to go, and lots of fans camping.
It is, the atmosphere there is great. It's after the break, so everyone's raring to go again. The fans also, as you say, lots of campers. The weather's normally really nice, so it makes for a great weekend racing.
They changed the circuit a couple of years ago. How do you like the new configuration of the track?
I think all of it's a real improvement apart from Coram. Coram to me used to be a real fast, ballsy corner, and they've taken that out a little bit, but the hairpins, I can see why they've done it, because it makes for overtaking, whereas the older circuit didn't encourage as much. So I can see why they do it, and it's a good driver's track and a good racer's track.
See you there.
Thank you.